Hey guys, so I know for a lot of you, it's that time of year again where it's back to school. And I've seen a lot of people talking on the internet whether the new iPad Pro 11 and potentially the new iPad Pro that's coming out on September the 10th is about to be announced can be a laptop replacement. So I thought I'd do a little video showing all the stuff that I use as my iPad and the things that I use to allow it to become a laptop replacement on a day-to-day basis. So stay tuned. Okay, so diving into it, the main thing that makes the iPad Pro a laptop replacement or the potential to be a laptop replacement is the new iPadOS, which should be launching on September the 10th or around September the 10th, once Apple's had its new conference showcasing either potentially a new iPad, but definitely new iPhones. So I would hold off for a little bit longer if you can on getting a new iPad, just to see if there is a new one supposedly launching at that time. But if you've got one already or you want to make the jump to an iPad Pro, I'm currently using the iPad Pro 11. Now, I've had the 12.9 inch for the last two models, but I actually went for a smaller device because I'm kind of more interested in maybe getting a MacBook Pro 13 in the coming months because I want to downsize everything. And so I just thought they were too close to compete with each other if that was the case. So anyway, first things first, you'll want a case for your iPad. Now, I've got this cheap magnetic one. I've talked about it in previous videos. This is absolutely great. You can stick stickers on it and all that kind of stuff, but it's just magnetic. It's exactly the same as the official Apple one, except for you can get this for around £10 instead of, I think it's £80 for the official iPad one. Great, it works fine. It's all magnetic and it keeps your iPad nice and clean. And also it acts as the stand as it always has done, so you can prop it up. Next is the Logitech Keys to Go keyboard. Now, I did a review of this recently, so I'll put that card up there. But yeah, I think this is the best keyboard on the market for the iPad Pro at the moment. I think it's brilliant. It works very similar to the official iPad one, except for it's not part of the iPad. So you can actually move the iPad away and have the keyboard away from the iPad, so you can easily have at a better angle if you can, or you can take it away and just use the iPad for notes if you don't want to use the keyboard for that lecture, depending on what you're doing. Now, with iPadOS, you can now use a mouse, and I'll show you how to set that up. But the thing is that the Magic Mouse isn't actually that great for the iPad at the moment. So I would recommend just using whatever mouse you have at the moment, if you have a mouse, to see if it works with the iPad. Because iPadOS isn't fully out yet, I can't recommend the Magic Mouse because none of the gesture functionality currently works, not even scrolling. So you can't scroll, you have to click and drag. Now, if this is the case when the official iPadOS comes out, the official release, then I wouldn't recommend the Magic Mouse. It's way too expensive for no functionality. It literally just works as one button. So what I would actually recommend is the Microsoft Arc mouse, and I will buy it and do a review of that mouse if when iPadOS comes out and this and Magic Mouse hasn't been supported any further, because that does allow the touch scrolling, and it's a lot thinner and it clicks back, so it's a lot thinner. I'll put a link to it down below to show if anyone's interested. Other than that, it's the USB-C connector that comes with the iPad Pro. This is great. I've got a 12 South leather loop just to tie it together, but you don't need that. But yeah, it's really simple, standard cable. And with that comes, in the UK, this funky little high wattage plug, which is really handy and flicks out and in, really clean. And you can use this for other things as well. So, but what I tend to use is this also with the Samsung T5 hard drive. Now, this means that you can get a cheaper iPad if you wanted to, because you can use all your documents, and because of the new updated files manager app, you can easily move and transfer things onto the external hard drive. So this here is a 1 terabyte drive. Now, you can get these on Black Friday for quite a decent deal. So maybe if you can hold out for as long as possible and then pick one of these up. There's also SanDisk do one, LaCie do one, but any of these small solid state hard drives with high storage are absolutely brilliant for the iPad, because you can put most of your data on there and keep your iPad clean for just downloading apps and app data. So other than that, I would buy the, potentially, if you can afford one of the dongles, great, one of the multi-connector dongles to allow more functionality to the iPad, but it does bulk it out and they are quite heavy. So what I tend to actually carry is just the standard Apple USB 3.0 to USB-C adapter. This works fine. And then I have just an octopus charger, which has all the different dongle connectors just for if I need it, because realistically, I don't actually use anything else. But I have the Samsung connector. This can also charge the Magic Mouse if I needed it to. And you can use this by plugging this into the octopus charger. I can then use this charger, as I was saying, to charge any device on the go. If I wanted to help someone, their charger, charging up my iPhone, charging up the Magic Mouse. This has micro USB and I don't know what that one is. It has a couple of the USB-C, Lightning and micro USB. So it's very handy, and it's good for charging things, especially if you're a photographer. Some things have different connectors, very old connectors, and you're not going to bother replacing them, like your lights and things like that. So other than that, you've just got the Apple Pencil 2, which this is a must buy. You have to buy this if you're an illustrator, or even for taking notes and things. This is just, there's not really any comparison to third-party ones. So, and now with the magnetic charging, it just works absolutely brilliantly. So yeah, so that's what I would recommend for the iPad. Now, do I think it's a laptop replacement? And this is probably where I'm going to say no. I actually don't think it's a full laptop replacement, because sadly, there are some functionalities that are missing, and you're never going to get that fully replaced at the moment. And so for all this combined, the money, it's around probably about £1,100 if you want to get the 256 gig one. And I haven't even bought the official keyboard, but it's very expensive. And I think for that, you can probably get the new MacBook Air, or even a MacBook Pro 13-inch, a lower end one, which things will actually work correctly with it as it's meant to. You're not really using the accessibility features to get the mouse working and all that kind of stuff. So I think I would still go for a MacBook if it's your only device. Now, for someone like me, where I actually have a MacBook Pro 15-inch that I leave at home and then carry this around for the 1 or 2 days I'm in the office, then I think it's great. And you can also do things like remote desktops on the iPad to basically cheat and use your MacBook when you're away without actually carrying it around. But yeah, that's my recommendation. If you've only got the amount of money to buy one of the items, I would definitely just buy a laptop. Not necessarily even an Apple laptop. Maybe, you know, a lot of creatives are now moving to Windows, but I don't think the iPad Pro is this amazing device that can completely revolutionize and be your only computer. I do still think there is a place for laptops and desktops. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this has given you some ideas of a setup. And yeah, that's it. Now I'll just jump in and show you how to connect the Magic Mouse up to the iPad, because the Magic Mouse is slightly different to a normal Bluetooth mouse. Okay, so first things first, you want to go into the accessibility tab in the settings. Now usually to get a mouse to work, you go into touch here and assisted touch and turn that on. And then in the devices section where the pointer devices are is where you select your Bluetooth mouse from. Sadly, for some reason, and I'll even show you this, if you go into devices, it even says here, Magic Mouse and Magic Trackpad are not supported over Bluetooth, which seems strange because you can actually connect them. So the way to do that is you go into switch control here. Don't turn on switch control, but instead go to switches and Bluetooth devices. And that's where your Bluetooth devices will pop up. Now, what you need to do is you need to turn off your Magic Mouse and leave it off for around 10 seconds, because if it's paired to something like a laptop close by, then it won't connect to the iPad. Now, when you turn on the Magic Mouse, you need to not touch any of the buttons and just leave it. It then should be in pairing mode. Do that now. As you can see, there you go. There's Chris Clayton's mouse, which is my Magic Mouse. So I'm going to click that, and it should pair with the mouse, which it's done. Now, still, the pointer hasn't come up, and that's because I haven't turned on the touch features yet. So now I need to go back into touch, assisted touch, and toggle that on. And as you can see, I now have mouse support. Now, a load of people I've seen responses online is, how do I get rid of this horrible thing on the side? And that's quite simple. All you need to do is go down to always show menu here and toggle it off. And there you go. This here, then you can change your track speed and everything else like you can do on a Bluetooth mouse. And you can also change the different buttons and everything in here. So another annoying thing is that that's great, but when you turn your mouse off, if you don't want to use the mouse anymore, if I do that now, it'll put that horrible button on the side, which you don't want when you're using the iPad again as not a laptop feature when you're watching Netflix and things. You don't want that horrible bump there. So what I've done is I actually created some quick tabs over here using the Siri Shortcuts app, where you can quickly toggle the mouse off like so. And then when you click mouse on, it turns it on. And these are really simple. So if I go in here and show you how it's done, if it'll let me go into the shortcuts. So what I've done here is in order to toggle mouse on, if you go into the settings, all you need to do is settings, turn assistive touch on. That's that. And if I go done and then turn it off, all I do is the same thing, except for I turn assistive touch off. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And then using the widgets, go into widgets and add the shortcuts tab there, as I've done. And that's the way in which you get these here. Turn mouse on, turn mouse off. I hope that helps you. But like I said, this really is an accessibility feature, and it's not the perfect solution, but now they've made the mouse pointer smaller and things, it is very useful. And it does work in design apps and things, so and things like LumaFusion. So yeah, I hope that helped. And please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.